What's on my mind? Holy guacamole, I cannot tell you how much is coming in. It's really cool and it's a lot. It's a lot. I was just though on the phone to one of my beautiful sisters with a Sistas, sister from another mother, and we're talking about life. Like, I seriously cannot talk normal at all ever anymore. I only can, it seems to be, I'm only able to go into that deepness, whether it be deep within or into the stars, deep within the stars of space. And again, it's like, this life experience. I think we should all, and I'm seriously, I want to start like a petition or something to say, can we just stop everything? Stop. Oh, I got a pen in my head. Can we stop everything? Because nothing else matters but working this out, playing this out, looking through the facades and the illusions, calling out the elephants in the room, the psychedelic elephants. Well, they're not really psychedelic, as if they were, we'd want them to stay. But the more to life, because we've been living wrong, like flat out wrong, and I know that for sure, because if we were, even though, wait, there's no wrong and right really, but there is, but if we were living the right way for all of us, it would be for all of us, but I'm pretty sure there's people starving still in the world when we've got an abundance of food. I'm pretty sure we've got homeless people, and even though we've got a whole lot of empty homes that are there for holidays, for some people they might go once or twice a year. I'm pretty sure a lot of the stuff we call food that we're consuming really shouldn't even be used in the food category, and I'm pretty sure that spraying the good food we have in the fields with poisons to kill other creatures isn't actually oh no, it kills just them, but we are immune to the poisons. No, if it's poison, if it kills things, it's probably not going to be good for us. I'm pretty sure there's things in our water that actually aren't really good for us. I'm pretty sure we need to stop pouring pollution into our oceans and into our air. I'm pretty sure cutting down the trees that create oxygen for us to breathe, and they breathe in carbon dioxide, which we need to have gone from our environment. They need it. So going carbon neutral would be crazy, because there'd be no plant life. If we go zero carbon, there's no plants. Like, there'll be no trees, there'll be no bees, there'll be no food, no vegetables, no fruit. I'm pretty sure that's actually not a good plan. And I'm pretty sure at the moment there's people with no money, and then people with, hang on, is it in the trillions now? And wasn't our monetary system meant to be based on how much gold we had? And then suddenly over the last 5 years, especially when we went through this massive, huge pandemic that ended up being classed, well, isn't it now classed as a cold, unless you have pre-existing conditions? But how did we end up in this time when people are struggling, and a lot of, especially middle to upper class people who had businesses couldn't keep it going, and then they had to kaput their business and go back into the workforce or on social services, on help, on handouts. But I'm pretty sure, like, I feel like there might be some people with their little hands on, it's not even in the bank anymore because a lot of our money is digital. So are there literally people adding zeros and going, nobody's going to notice? Because it doesn't equate the amount of billionaires or even heading on trillionaires, and it just doesn't equate. There's another elephant sitting next to the psychedelic elephant in the room. So there's stuff that's just not right in our world. And even the fact that, and I have touched on all this already, but even the fact that we make movies and write books based on true stories, based on corruption within our systems and spaces where our apparent leaders are. And we watch these and we acknowledge them, but then in real life we kind of pass it off as, oh no, they wouldn't do that. But hang on, based on true story? So there's stuff that hasn't been right. There's stuff that I would call bullshit on. I call bullshit on a lot of stuff because we have been allowing, a lot of us, and we're all really one big whole family, we're allowing a lot of us to suffer and just get by. And even the whole food thing, we have a massive problem, like a health problem, and instead of really addressing the core problems about the food we're eating and the understanding of, or the education, I don't even like the word education anymore, because I think even our schools are somewhat compromised. So we have a big problem with our health, and if you look at our lifestyle with the food that ain't even food, and if you go in a supermarket, if something's in a package and a box and it's got all these chemicals and preservatives and colours and numbers, things I cannot even pronounce, I don't know if it can be classed as food anymore. And also even, this is some things that I've seen previously, and you can look them up, that food in some countries that has a warning on it that this is a carcinogenic, so eat at your own risk, but yet we're still making them. Should we just not make stuff that could be harmful for people? Don't give them a warning in that really small writing, because I'm finding, and I don't think it's just my age, I think the writing on a lot of products is getting smaller for a reason. So you can't read it, so you can't look at it and go, huh, that says it might kill me. I'm sorry for laughing, but it's the absurdity of how we have this world set up. And it's flat out not working for us. It's working for a few people, obviously, but not for the majority. So what are we going to do about it? I think the first thing is to acknowledge things and go, okay, Houston, we have a problem. And then we have to actually make a choice as humanity, as society, as one big family, and go, what are we here for? Are we all here just to make a buck? I don't think so. I mean, I'm not saying no to money, universe. You can bring it on to me while it's serving us in that way, because I don't want to be in survival. I don't want to just make it by each week. I want to make sure I can put food on my table and pay my bills. And I also want that for you and you and literally everyone. Why do we allow people to fall through the cracks? And I think a lot of us know how the system works. The system isn't actually set up to serve us. It is set up to serve a few, because I have talked about this before. We kind of gave our power away because we didn't want the responsibility at one point in our reality. But now I think it's time to take that responsibility back. But don't be afraid. It's not that scary, because this world isn't even that real. So we are suffering in a world that ain't even that real. It is a simulation experience that we're in, and yet we're still suffering because obviously we haven't had the memory of who we are and what our origins are. We've come in like a blank screen, blank slate, and we've had to work it out as we go along. And I think it takes a while to work it out. I'm 50 now, so it's really, even though I was on the trail of this from quite young, from a child, like even I can recall having thoughts when I was like in kindy in the playground, and then in school, and definitely teenager, I'm going, oh, there's something not right here. And then always on this trail, but because of the world and how it's set up, I was in suffering. I used alcohol and drugs to numb the pain, to numb myself, because I didn't know how to cope in this denseness. And I think that's a problem a lot of the time too, is this is a dense version of reality. It seems very real. The illusion is so real. Can you hear this? Sorry if that's too loud. But it's hard, and I think because we haven't been conscious of who we are as light beings, because in our light being spiritual state, let's say, energetic state, we're just energy, we're light, we're so fluid and flowing and just being, and everything is wonderful. And then we come into these avatars. It's not like, actually we're not really in the avatars, it's more the avatar of who we are in this lifetime is within us. So we're concentrating this mass into this little point here, which here is care, and there it's you, and you over there. But it's not our natural state, so it is hard. And then we do trip and trundle and fall in pit holes. But would it be the same? If we already knew it, would the experience fulfill what it is that we want it to fulfill, which is feeling and knowing and experiencing all the nuances of beingness? Was it something I wrote down? So we are here to feel things, but then to process said things. And then as we process and determine, oh, did I like that feeling? No, I did not. Do I want to do that again? No, I probably don't want to do that again. So it's that choice. Or on the alternative, did I like that feeling? Yes. Do I want to do it again? Yes. But then we let the feeling go. It's just unfortunately we haven't really known that process or remembered it. So we hang on to stuff, especially unfortunately the not so good stuff, the stuff that we go, oh, I don't like this, and we hang on to it, and it gets stuck in our energy, which comes out in disease. And our body is always trying to tell us when we have stuck energy. And so when you are feeling something, it's for a reason. It's to bring your attention to it, so you can go, oh, I have stuck energy. And we do have a lot of things that really help in that sense. I was so lucky, my friend's doing this sound massage accreditation, and she needed someone to help her through it. And I literally got to do this course with her, which was just amazing. and be part of the sound healing. So she did it to me a number of times. Then part of it was she needed to know what it was like on the other side, so she had the full holistic perspective, and it was so freaking amazing. And I'm so happy for her too, because she will just be in bliss as she's treating people and helping people. Every time she gives them a treatment, she's getting it herself through the vibrations. Like, how wild is that? But what am I saying here? Okay, I've kind of gone on this interesting segue again. I should call this the segue show, because I tend to do that. But what I'm saying is, can we just, amongst ourselves, like if you're actually here listening, even if you're doing it through your own YouTube channels, or whether you're on Instagram, or there is a lot of people doing this actually, a lot of people are being called to call out the elephant. Poor elephants, we should call it something else. But you know, there's something big, there's like a fly in the ointment. Oh, poor fly, let's not put it on the flies. There's a spanner in the works. Can I say poor spanner? There is something not right, and this is our time to acknowledge it and shift our course so that we can get it right. Even though, again, I'm going, can we get out of the polarities of right and wrong? But I think while we still have, I can't even believe I'm still seeing ads for places in the world where children are literally starving. That is complete insanity, along with the fact that we still have our leaders waging war against each other. But I mean, they're not going out into the fields, they're sitting back behind their desks, sending innocent people. Maybe instead of sending soldiers out to kill innocent soldiers because they have no beef with each other, maybe what we need to do is set up like a boxing ring or catering for said leaders to actually, if they want to sort it out through fighting and force, get in the frickin' ring yourselves. Don't send other people to do your dirty work. Do it yourself. And I think we have to. I mean, I'm a pretty placid person, and I am in no way would I ever say go and fight for something, because I don't believe that's the way at all, especially since we're all energy anyway. That is the wrong way. But I think it's time to say enough is enough. And we have literally too many children who don't even have a chance, because unfortunately what has happened in this cycle of the destabilization of the self, the great I am self, where we have slid into darkness, that the darkness is miserable, and misery likes company, as I've come to understand. And this dark side does understand that if you snuff out the spark of the child, that is it for their life. They're in trauma more often, I'd imagine, than not. It would take a big advanced spirit to have some things that have happened to a lot of children to get through that and grow and expand from that. And we don't want that. We never wanted that. And also this dark psyche of the great I am, of the universe. See, this is the thing. We can't fight it, because if we're fighting it, we're just fueling it, we're just making it bigger. I've already talked about this, that was this morning, wasn't it? We can't condemn it or cast it out, because literally all that is includes all that is. So what do? This is where we're at. So I mean, I completely understand that there is a problem here, and I completely understand that we are at a pivotal point. I also completely understand that where we are turning to is already here, but it's more so about how do we help everyone see that and shift there, so that no soul need be left behind. And there is this bigger picture of healing that sort of has been sinking in with me, and I am still processing. So I did talk about this in another video about I can't remember what I called it, but it was a couple of videos back, talking about the I am universal psyche, who, if we were to look at that as a singular person going into, say, a therapist or psychiatric office or psychologist, how would we help someone with multiple personality disorder, or like bipolar in that sense? But it's not a single person, it is the universe. Okay. I'm so sorry if I confuse people, but I am compelled to talk about this stuff because the universe made me do it. And continues to every day without skipping a beat. Okay, but let's talk about it. Let's do it with the people in your life that you feel okay to talk about the real reality, the higher version, the deeper knowing of beingness. The question here is now, how as a collective consciousness can we help all of us shift out of the stuckness that we've been in? Because we are moving, but let's try and not leave people lagging behind and not being able to shift on over. Because everybody matters, we all matter. Okay. Alright, that's enough crazy care for the day. Thank you if you are listening. It does matter. Like, I kind of went, it doesn't matter, I can just talk with myself, but then what's the point? But then I always go, all it takes is one person for it to hit home, or to feel not alone, to know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. There is the silver lining. Every cloud has a silver lining, and that is enough. But if each of us help one person, if everybody affected at least 2 people with that, and then that would spread, and then those 2, like, it would be the most amazing, beautiful ripple effect. And I'm sure it would be a rainbow-coloured ripple with shooting stars and the full moon and an eclipse and butterflies. Okay, I'm kind of sticking around 20 minutes for these. It's amazing how quickly the time can go past. I'm just totally amazed at how I can just talk. And it's interesting, because even looking back at the earlier videos I started not that long ago, it's only really like a month, on these ones, just talking with myself. I really am looking forward to talking with other people. I did start doing some videos a couple of years ago. They're right down the bottom, and it was talking with people, and what my intention was to go into the deeper side of life, and especially how you helped yourself, or how you could see helping other people, so that we can, with all our little universal eyes, help each other out of ruts, out of stuff. And I do want to do that again. I was just on here before, I'm just on this app, it's online, called Riverside Studio, and I can invite people in. So I said to my dad, would you test it with me? So we were trying to work it out, but it wasn't quite working. But once I get that working, I really want to start talking with more people, so I'm not just talking to myself, and really delve into the real stuff, the life stuff, the stuff that matters, like shifting to something that works for everyone. And I think as we're all keys with each other, it's so doable, it's so possible. And like I've said, it's already done, but it is a matter of how swiftly, it's not even quickly, it's how swiftly and how gracefully, with ease and grace, we can shift there together. That's it now, because there's no going back. For some reason that's back and that's forward. I don't know why. And it's something we can do together, because we are all co-creators in this life experience realm that we are in. Okay, well, I'm gonna pop back out. I might be on a roll, so if you see this jumper come up a few times in a row, it means I am on this little speaking roll. I have got other jobs to do and I have been doing them, but obviously there's more of a pull to do this at the moment. Okay, wherever you are around the world, I hope you're having a lovely morning, arvo, evening, and I'm sending much love.